Right, guys, thank you very much for your patience. We're just having a little bit of a technical difficulty on our side. For some reason, I'm now clashing with everybody, which is not something that generally happens. So we're just trying to get that internet connection up and running. But we will be live shortly. Stick around. And there we go. Good evening, everybody. I trust that we are all well. A bit of a technical issue that we've got on our side. For some reason, I am not able to get into the lobby. So I have asked the guys to please, can they just reset the lobby? And you can see in the background, I do have, in the virtual commentary box, I have Stephen and Stephen. Which Stephen I said first, we shall never know. But let's start on the top right, and that is Stephen Smith racing in our season. Back for another GT3 series.
Yeah,
and can you believe it? We now have Ethan Duplessis, who has just liked the stream. Something new to soccer, which we've never had before. So thank you very much for that, Ethan. I'm pretty disappointed that the actual emoji that I wanted to happen didn't work. So that's something to go and check, but at least it's working. Stephen, your views, GT3's back. Happy, not happy?
No, I'm pretty excited. I was a little bit bummed about last season. Just pity about a wonderful ESCOM. but we will not leave the stream off on a bad note. But this season, looking forward to it. GT3s, what a category to be in, and our qualifying Long Beach, a tricky track, very quick. Also, depending on your limits, you want to be too quick, you're gonna smack that ball. You're gonna just kiss it, and it's gonna be too much. So yes, this track has got its moments where it'll chew you out and spit you out on the other side of the track. But it is, I think we are gonna see some flying times.
So I will touch on the reason why we did go with Long Beach a little bit later, but let's go to you, Stephen Koenig. Come in, joining us for another season here at Sarko on a Monday night. We know that you do a lot of your PC racing, but thank you very much for joining us and taking the invite. Really, really happy to have you here.
No, absolutely amazing to be back. Really excited, and I got to say it's nice to be back home, if I can put it that way. It's going to be interesting. I've been taking a look at Long Beach, and yes, I've done it not on Project Cars like what is being driven tonight, but Long Beach, as was brought up, very technical circuit, 3.16 kilometers of absolute mayhem. One mistake can end up in a massive pile-up, so you've got to trust your fellow drivers to make sure. And also, such a big change that's happened to Sarko. New sponsors jumping on board, new names coming in, and this is exactly where we want to see leagues moving forward. So I'm honored to be back. Thank you very much. And how's it, everyone? You have to put up with me again.
So just to touch on those sponsors, yes, we do have some sponsors that have joined the ranks. So we do have Schick, which is your Schick shaving, is that we do have some awesome hampers that they're going to be giving out to some of winners across the two different tiers. We've also got some Luxury Time, where there's a bit of a special deal that's currently happening there, is that should we be able to get some sales out of some of the publicity that we're doing for there, is that there is a bit of a kickback that we do get, and then that obviously goes back into the supporting of not only the drivers but also to help fund everything that happens behind the scenes. We got some the skincare products for men from Bulldog. They've graciously given us some products, and then NAG is we know New Age Gaming, which was the magazine. And there's something big that we're working on at the moment. Can't give away too much, but when you've got the biggest gaming magazine supporting your league, you know that there's definitely something happening. So yes, a big thank you to all those sponsors that have come on and who are supporting the league. Guys, very frustrated here is I do see that I am still clashing with just about everybody in the lobby there. Not too sure what is going on and why this is happening. We haven't had this problem before for the last couple of seasons. Now all of a sudden it just seems to be back. Don't even know what to say, because without my machine working, what I can possibly do is just switch over to Chase's machine. Hopefully that can make a difference. But we'll have to see what if we can get that going.
Well, technical difficulties does arise, and especially in the world of esports. We've seen it in multiple different things, whether it be console, whether it be PC, whether it be phones, and all of it. But the one thing I wanted to actually touch on is the development of this new series. We've gone from last season not in GT3 cars to this season jumping into GT3s. A lot of people were familiar as time goes by. We're driving on a Assetto Corsa Competizione, and the drivers decided that they wanted to go to Project Cars. That's where the love is, and it's always been one of those interesting things to see the historics come in now into the GT3s with having the two tiers of your Alpha and your Bravo. And guys, we talk about Alpha and Bravo. Alpha is your top tier. These are your fastest drivers in SA on console, racing it out. Then you got Bravo, who are your second tier. Now, they're not the slow guys. And I mean, these guys were off the times when I was looking by 0.2 of a second. They've just missed out. I mean, they're incredibly quick. And being very fortunate to race against the Bravo guys, I can tell you that the competition is fast and fierce up and down the tiers. So it's going to be really exciting to see how the guys do it. And very interesting choice of track for them to do that qualifiers is Long Beach. As we brought up, very technical circuit. You got to try and work out where to overtake, where to follow. And the guys are aiming to put in the fastest times possible. So, Dylan, why don't you did a lap around the circuit, you had a little bit of a hot lap. Why don't you take us through what the drivers are going to have to deal with? And then, Stephen, you also are going to be racing. I would like to get your input of the pressure that is coming from, trying to qualify for Alpha tier or qualifying for Bravo tier, because if there was any other tier that I'll fit in, it'll probably be Zebra, way at the back. So let's start. Dylan, take us through why Long Beach.
So I actually have a very, very interesting idea, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to quickly link that video up. Let's get it playing while I quickly make a little switch behind the scenes. And then hopefully what that then does is gives us some time to get myself in the lobby, and we can actually just get on with the actual reason why we're here. So if you give me just 1 minute, I can then get this going for everybody. But the whole reason why we did choose Long Beach is for one reason, is that the limits are extremely tight. The other thing that we know is that you're able to push it to a limit, and once you get to that limit, what you're going to be doing is finding the wall. So it's forcing these drivers to be nice and smooth, as well as being consistent, because they're doing 3 times, and we're taking the average of those 3 laps, and that gives them their qualifying time. So you've got to find that balance between speed and how far you're willing to push those limits.
That's it. And, Long Beach is one of those circuits that you're going to, once you find the limits, so you said walls. I think they're more guide rails to show you where the circuit is as you get to, crash around. You don't want to have a repeat of what, like Formula E had this weekend, where majority of the field landed in the wall.
And a lot of them on top of each other.
So it's very interesting. And then, we got Stephen, the other Stephen. You see all the cool people named Stephen. You're going to be racing in you're going to be qualifying and racing. What's the sort of pressures that's coming down? You've got to try and maximize your time on the circuit. You've got to do it 3 times to ensure that you've got the quickest lap time to get that average. What's going through your mind at this point, and what do the drivers have to expect going into this as they try and do what they can to qualify for the Alpha tier?
That's it's a very good question. First thing is not to overcook those tires, because a lot of the guys they normally put those tires so hot. By the time it does lap 2, they are at maximum temperature already. So the worst thing is to overcook your tires, because these cars are so finicky with little adjustments like that. If your tires get too hot, it becomes like snot out there. The car just starts sliding. It's not gripping between lap 1 and then lap 2 and 3. The car is completely different. So you've got to find that happy medium where you are with your car, where you've set it up. Are you quick in pushing all 3 laps and getting them in, because you're going to be doing laps after laps after laps, and you need to make sure that your car is at 110% all the time. Yes, are you just going to do 1 lap, come back in, cool down your tires, or you're going to do another lap and then another lap and another lap? So it's very difficult for each driver, because some drivers can do 3 quick laps straight after each other. We'll use Marius and Quicksilver. Those guys are quick, and they can hit those laps straight after each other. But it all comes down to how you set up your car. Is your car gonna manage to do 3 laps straight after each other, and not overcook it, not overreach in those corners? Because I've seen some of the guys, they they are really on the limits. Like if you just do a little jerk on the steering wheel, you've touched the wall. You've lost 200 of a second already. 200 of a second is alpha or bravo. We've seen 1/1000 of a second that people don't make alpha tier. I'm one of them.
And we've seen the championships get decided in exactly the same way. And, you know, another new thing that's happening with soccer, which is always fantastic to see, we're broadcasting not only on YouTube, we're broadcasting on Twitch and on Facebook, which is a massive, massive advantage for you guys, the viewers, to be able to pick your platforms and come watch some impressive racing. And if you guys want to be a part of it, come join the soccer community. Please come have some fun. It's a brilliant time. But, you know, this is where I wanted to ask you guys of how does it feel? You know, 3 different platforms that you're going out to. You've got millions of people. I see we have got we heard Chile that has liked the stream. Thank you very much. Brandon DeSantos saying new season. Here we go. I mean, that is across different platforms that have just come out right now, and you know, all the bits that come with it. So I know Dylan is working a bit in the background, so I'm gonna ask.
I am here. So what I'd like to do is let's just get that video up quickly. While that video is running, at least we can just give people a little bit of an 8-minute tour around Long Beach, and this is basically from my eyes in the Acura NSX. It wasn't the Nissan, it was the Acura. But at least this way, we're able to just buy ourselves some time. Guys, thank you so much. We do have people that have joined across all 3 platforms. Just amazing to see. Thank you very much. But I promise you guys, we will be back with you shortly. Let's just get changing over to the new machine, and hopefully that will solve some of the issues. But here's my little guide around Long Beach. Hope you enjoy. What up, yos? So the Schick Global GT3 series has officially announced that it's going to be kicking off on the 15th of August, where we will be doing the Long Beach. And while the full track list has not been released just yet, at least we know that we can spend some time at Long Beach finding the car that we're going to be using for the rest of the championship. So while I won't be racing this season, I do want to still help some of those newer drivers that are coming through the ranks and giving them the delirious track guide on how I would approach the tracks and what I'm looking for each of them. Disclaimer time. This is not the how to set up your car and get the fastest lap time. As you can see, I'm in an Acura NSX. I've taken the loose setup, haven't changed tires, haven't changed fuel. This is the where are my braking points, what am I looking for, where am I turning in, what curbs can I use? So for those Bravo drivers aspiring for Alpha tier, I hope this helps you. And to some of our Alpha champions, there might be something in here that you pick up. So let's get into the qualifying track guide for the Schick Global GT3 series, proudly supported by Luxury Time Premium Timepieces, Bulldog Skincare for Men, and nag.co.za. So what I'll do is just break down the detail of each of the corners, and then just let it flow into one wonderful, beautiful symphony. So we cross the line, we start squeezing to the inside just to hug this inside wall, because we want to try and get as far to the right as possible for turn number 1. Okay, so let's just stop it here quickly. This is what I'm looking for. I want a consistent reference of where I'm going to be braking every lap. So specifically here in this car right now, it is 2 car lengths away from the 400 meter mark. Then I apply my brakes in a straight line until my turning point. And this is where trail braking is now very important. I'm at the 200 meter mark. I'm now starting to slowly feed the car in, but at the same time slowly start coming off the brakes. And the beauty about turn 1 is that you are able to use the curb. But now what I want to show you is that, as you can see, I'm now approaching the curb and I'm now hitting the apex, having applied full throttle with the straight line to the fountain section. So my braking point here is the bubba sign as soon as it comes into view on the left hand side. So you'll see I'm now hard on the brakes, but I'm gently feeding the car in so I'm able to aim onto that apex, but I'm going to be squeezing that throttle, waiting for that exit point now. Now full throttle, straight line to make sure that you get the maximum drive out of here. These lines at turn 4 are the perfect place for you to brake and start feeding that car in. Stay off this inside curb, but start adding throttle as you approach it and get maximum exit out of this corner. The dreaded turn number 5 and its negative camber on the exit. So these black lines are the perfect braking point. So at the Firestone sign, that's where I'm going to start turning the car in and getting ready for this apex. So at the 100 board, this is where I now start coming off the brakes and aiming for the curb. And yes, I do use the curb, but what it does is it loads up the left hand side of the car, so as soon as it's landed, I'm able to apply full throttle. Okay, now we head to turn 6 and 7, but 7 is essentially the exit of 6. The braking point is at the 300 meter mark, but this is where trail braking is going to be very, very important. So braking hard at the 300 board in a straight line up until the Verizon board. This is where we're going to want to start feeding the car in. Now slowly feeding that car in, coming off the brakes and gently applying the accelerator, so by the time you hit the apex, you're able to get full acceleration on the exit towards turn number 7. And my suggestion is don't go too wide on the exit, because you got to get back to the left for turn 8. So between the 300 and the 200 board, this is where you want to be braking in a straight line, leading up until this little piece of the wall here just by the 100, because that's going to be the turning point for this corner. So again, with the trail braking, slowly adding the power, but you want to be apexing with this red line between the center of your car, and make sure that you've got full power on the exit. Get a straight line to stop that overseer snap on exit. So now it's maximum sack down east seaside way towards turn number 9, and this section is extremely critical. The braking point's at the 300 meter board, but now you need to get the car slowed down enough to turn in and set yourselves up for 10 and 11. So braking hard in a straight line at the 100 board, and here you want to be aiming for this curb here on the inside. You can get one wheel over it, but just be careful, these track limits are quite hectic here. But here you want to remain center of the track, because you need to start getting yourself set up for the sequence of turn number 10. So this little line right here is where I'm going to be coming off the power, using it as my turning point for the first phase of the 3 parts of this corner. So now I'm coming off the power, I'm aiming for this curb on the inside, and I want to get a lot of my left wheels over it. This is now going to set me up to take a nice tight line through here, and then give me a good run for the second phase of turn 10. And that is getting right up against this inside wall, and then into phase 3 is now braking in a straight line for turn number 11. And the start of the black lines is the perfect braking point. The trick here is to turn in late, because you want to apex on the outside of the apex, which is now going to allow you to open up this corner and get a good exit and then throttle down nice and early. And now let's take a look of how it all comes together in one seamless lap. And there you have it, guys, the delirious guide around Long Beach. I hope there's a few pointers that you're able to take with you, and I hope that it helps you for the qualifyings on the 15th. Looking forward to seeing you there, and until then, we'll get those registrations open on Tuesday. And until then, guys, keep racing, keep practicing, and thanks for watching. Yos.
Okay, 3.
Let me try that again. So guys, thank you very much for your patience. I have, however, got to a point where I've exhausted all avenues for me to somehow get this working. Between my PlayStation and Chase's PlayStation, which worked the weekend, I haven't clashed with anybody as severely as what I'm experiencing now. So I don't even know what to say. Like, how did we get to this point? Come on. Oh, goodness. Well,
I think at this point we can utilize the time to welcome the guys that have joined, and thank you very much for liking the streams. I also see a couple of comments coming through. We spoke about Brandon Santos saying new season. We got Rudy McNeil saying, how's it, Rudes? And Rob's from Durban. Also, Michael Kernick going and saying, I need to see about joining the series again. So a lot of old names and new names popping up to, watch and also wanting to be a part of it. So going to be a bit interesting there. And I got to say, it's very, very interesting to see how a lot of the community is coming back for it. But I want to talk about a little bit of that lap that we saw, the car getting a little bit loose, and a little bit of a fun fact. Do you know that the circuit, the Long Beach, is actually called Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach?
oh,
So you had the right car there. Well done.
very interesting.
It's also a circuit that was made in 1975 under all circumstances between the local community not wanting to have it around. There was lots of infighting. Long Beach was nearly not to be in existence, but they managed to make it happen, and Formula 5000 cars were the first ones to open up. Following year, we had Clay Regazzoni going and winning the first US GP, and we also had our dear Jody Scheckter getting caught out at the last and getting past. So he's also loses out his win, which allowed Mario Andretti to be the first US Formula 1 driver to win a US Grand Prix, which is, a little bit of history there. The circuit's got quite a bit of history to it, and it's had eight versions of it put together. So very, very interesting in terms of a circuit. But what you also did bring out is no one knows what the circuits are after the qualifiers. So there's a little bit of trying to figure out what you're going to do. We heard about different car, chatting within the Discord of what's going to be the right car. Steve, for the series, are you hoping that it's a better car, or are you hoping that it may help in different things? Or is it going to be a disadvantage? Or did you pick it specifically for the qualifiers? How was that all a choice?
Well, right now it just literally you drive the whole season. So the tracks, we're not going to really know much about the tracks. So it's like a gamble right now that I've taken to be quick in qualifiers. The other tracks.
Well, that's it. We take a look at the Mercedes being a very dominant vehicle. It's got a front engine, but the engine's behind the front axle, so it's a little bit more balanced. but is rather tail happy, which gives you that rotation that you need to go around more of the tighter corners. But you've got your competitors that will be picking Audis, maybe the Acura, and so much more. We even saw that the Bentley and the Cadillac were one of the options there to go and pick as a choice of car. So lots of different ideas can go around. What's going to give you a straight line? What's going to give you a little bit more corner rotation? What's going to help? Will Monza be an idea? What other things going forward? And I yet to wonder, has anyone picked my little humble M6 that I've always enjoyed the look of? Because BMW should go and take a look at the designing team for making the horrific BMW M4 GT3, which is current.
What's wrong with that M4?
It's got beaver teeth on the front, and it's got a name for beaver teeth on the front of it. So that is what's wrong with it. Beautiful car in terms of handling, speed. It's well balanced, but long as I don't look at the front of the car, that's all I can say. These are the different things that everyone's got to try and figure out what's going to be the best choice for the season. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing, is what's going to be the best choice. What's going to be the workout, what's going to be the right car, or what's going to be the proper powerhouse around the circuit. Is it going to be the mid-engines? Is it going to be the front engines? And only after tonight, heading into next week, will we know what is going to be the start of it. What's going to be the better start of it? So let's see how that all turns out.
Yeah, that's going to be a very tricky question, because a lot of the people would say the Ferrari would be the safest bet right now, because it's quick, it's got your corner speed, it's got corner grip. So a lot of the people are going to probably lean on the Ferrari side, but I didn't really see the Ferrari being that quick. I did probably 3 to 4 hours practice in the Ferrari, and I did not get the times that I was getting with the Merc. So I literally took about half an hour with the Merc, and I was even quicker than in the Ferrari. So yes, is it the safer choice? Well, time will only tell.
That's it. It's one of those things, and guys are going to be looking for those very quick times. If they also been looking at real world times, I know you guys have been putting some effort in taking a look at the real world, what the real world was doing. We saw that fantastic showing of the circuit, a little bit of a lap guide of where to look at. We saw the beautiful fountain that some people tend to go visit. Myself, I tend to go crashing off into it majority of the time when I've driven around the circuit. But the guys are going to be aiming for that elusive 118.6, which was done by Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo. So a little bit more modern than what you're driving, but it does hold the record. The Mercedes does hold the record. Second to that was Acura, and then Audi being one of the ones before then, going and beating out those records. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes, but we've got to also think a little bit further ahead of, with the upcoming circuits, with the upcoming series as it moves forward, what is going to be the better choices of this. And that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing, how it's going to test the drivers. Also, last season, you guys weren't in GT3s. You had to get used to a completely different setup, a little bit more aero, and mainly focused on, they were very closer to Formula cars than your GT counterparts.
Yeah.
That change, how do you think it's going to affect the drivers going into the season? Is there a different mindset that you got to take to it, knowing that it's a bit heavier, that it's not as, put your foot flat through a corner and it'll stick like crazy? It's a lot more, you can feel the car move from underneath you. What's the sort of mindset change that's needed to jump into a different entire category of cars?
Yeah, well, this season it's going to be open setup. So it's going to be, you have to practice. You have to get the car to behave the way you want it to behave. Last season, I think we were in the touring cars, and it was default setup. So everyone just rocked up, raced. Guys did practice, but it's literally there was no setup on that at all. It's where now the guys are going to have to put that little bit of extra effort in actually practicing, doing more laps, trying different sway bars, trying your ride heights, your springs, whatever, so not, and playing around with the car to actually get it to perform at its best, and not overperforming where you find that you actually gone backwards now instead of forward. So there's that point that you actually reach with a car that you can't get any more out of it. It's now all up to you, where you brake, where you enter, which apexes you hit. It all comes down to that. And also when you've got that car in front of you, that little bit of a back, I can't think of the word right now. Your slipstream.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, your slipstream is going to help you tremendously. It's not just like you're going to depend on the slipstream. Now it comes down, if your car is set up properly, you're going to get that slipstream, and then you're still going to make this wonderful lap time, where a lot of the guys are going to be, I haven't practiced, I haven't got a car set up. 90% of the guys are probably still, they don't even know what setup to run, because every time they go on the track, the car's behaving differently. So it all comes down to what are your choices? Your choices are going to be plain and simple. You need to practice, you need to put in the time, and you'll see in the game that the more you practice, the better you become with your car.
So, Stephen, I just want to comment here quickly is that what is currently going out on the stream, guys, is the actual track list. So our website has been updated. It is there. It's just that one of the plugins was corrupted. We thought it had all reset, so everything is there. Our developer has not got to it. But essentially, round one of the qualifiers, we are going to be going to Watkins Glen GP. The weather settings there will be heavy cloud to light cloud, followed by the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve.
Oh.
We are going to be playing with 3 weather slots there. We're going to be going from clear to hazy to hazy. So we're going to have a late afternoon haze. Round number 4 is Autodromo Internacional Enzo e Dino Ferrari Imola. And
nice.
I think it's been a while since we've had a nice clear race there. So we'll start off with some medium cloud and then head off to some clear track later on, which I think the guys will appreciate. This is where things start getting a little bit interesting, is we now head to Hockenheim. And in Hockenheim, it is 3 weather slots. Start off with a little bit of overcast conditions, some heavy cloud, and just as the track gets warm, there's a little light shower late on in the 40-minute race. So around about 12 minutes to go, it's going to be a panic to the pits. Get those wets on, and away we go. Round number 5 is going to be Donington Park, bringing an old favorite back.
Yes.
And again, the last time we raced there, and a mentioned comment was during the admin team, is that the last 2 races I've had at Donington have rained. So there won't be any rain. We can predict this now. So it is medium cloud and then clear.
You immediately rain afterwards.
No. But then we are going to be going to the Bruno track. That is round number 6. 4 weather slots. And this is going to be a day for all season. Starting off clear. We then head into light cloud, followed by medium cloud, followed by light sprinkling. So the last 10 minutes is where the rain is going to come. So for those guys who are going to be taking that gamble on the softs, is that you take it nice and easy to keep those softs before you hit the rain. Who knows? Then, round number 7, we head to the circuit at the Spa-Francorchamps GP. 2 slots there. We'll start off with a bit of a hazy afternoon, and then it'll clear up as the afternoon goes on. We don't really want to destroy a Spa in the rain. Definitely not. But then we end off in Zhuhai. And I know that we keep ending off in Zhuhai because it's just such a great track. But you know what we've never done there, Stephen?
Yeah.
And Stephen? We've never had rain there. So
No,
this
we've
is what we're going to do there. We're going to have a light sprinkling for the first 12 minutes, followed by some heavy cloud. But man, oh man, are the guys going to be debating on what to do for that last slot when it rains again?
Oh, jeez. So it's rain, dry rain.
Rain, dry rain. We're mixing it up. It is something I've always wanted to do with completely variable conditions, and we've kept it heavy cloud, so it's just enough to put some heat back in the track, but not enough to take all the water away, and then we have another light sprinkling back again.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely stacked track list and just dropping the bombshell of what is going to be the season. Yeah, this where it gets a little bit interesting. A lot of technical circuits out there, where it does favor your high speed, your mid-engine vehicles, your more rotation. But then you got the likes of, I mean, Spa is just one of those amazing circuits to go to. Raced in 24 hours, 12 hours, and all that around it. It's been fantastic. But as you said, it's very difficult in the rain. But the guys are going to have to deal with tire degradation as the race goes on, because a lot of the circuits that are on there are not. They are not the smoothest.
They're
of
your old
circuits to go
faithfuls.
to.
They're the old school racing tracks. They've been around for a long time. And not only that, if you think about the name, the Schick Global GT3 Series, not one of those are in the same country twice.
Absolutely, and it's just as rough as my face at the moment, yeah. But that's for
But
certain.
don't worry.
Maybe I need to go and talk to Schick about it, or get something sorted out. But what a stacked season that it's going to be. I think it's definitely going to be putting different drivers to the test. It's going to be putting the cars to the test and what they're going to be able to do in both Alpha and Bravo tiers. And remember that you've also got a bit of a change-up where you got Bravo that starts one night and then Alpha starts the one night. So you've
Correct.
got that constant changing. You're going to have to watch the category before you, or you're going to have your category that's after you watching to see where the mistakes are. So a lot of that focus comes in of what's going to be the strategy play.
100%.
And whether you're going to be the guinea pig or whether you're going to have another person that's the guinea pig, that is all the different parts that all these drivers are going to have to consider while they're going out there and racing. And very tricky conditions of having a light rain means that you got to keep your tires in check when you're going to pit. If you're going to risk it for the biscuit, stay out in the rain, or if it feels
do
okay.
you take the slicks for another lap? And we know as soon as you start hearing that water, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So guys, look, it hasn't been ideal, but what we have done is we've actually created a chat show. So the global GT3 chat show is live to you. No racing. So guys, what I'm going to do is we are going to end it here. I am just going to call a quick discussion with some of the admin team just to get the qualifyings done. Unfortunately, they're not going to be live, but we still do need to get the qualifyings happening this evening, so I can then relieve Stephen and Stephen, one to go race and the other to go and chill. So at least we can.
I'm racing at Long Beach, so I've got to get a few laps in. That's for certain. So it may not be in the same sim, but I'm gonna try and feel what the guys are going through, and hopefully from next week I will be able to be a little bit more on par. Maybe I can get into Charlie, the Charlie tier by myself. I might be able to win it. The medical car is very fast though, and the pace car is just way out of my reach at this point.
No, 100%. Right, guys. So all I can say is to everybody who tuned in to look forward to the racing, apologies. We have spent more than an hour to try and get both the machines working to not be clashing. So I'm definitely going to have some work that I need to do. A big thank you to our hosts that would have been this evening. So that's Brandon DeSantos and Tyler, as well as our race directors. That is Racing Stephen from Console. How's that for a name?
Here we go.
As well as our Govern Master / Saint Jim / Julian, who has 3 different names, completely unrelated. But thank you very much to that, Julian. Guys, I'm confident we will resolve the issues for next week. So please do tune in next week where we do kick off round number 1. But until then, guys, all I can say is a big thank you to our sponsors, and that is to Schick, the Luxury Time Bulldog, as well as nag.co.za. Any parting words from you, top right, Stephen? Seeing yourself, you don't know who that is. Sorry, my camera's here, but I see you guys there. It's like very, very disorientating.
Okay, Stephen Console, you take it away since you're going to be driving.
Well, let's not put it in the wall. Hey? Let's try and finish it without a scratch on the car. So yeah, just give it all you can, but just don't give it all the wall.
Give it your all, just not the wall. Love it. Okay, Stephen. PC Stephen.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for having me back. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the racing's going to do, how the drivers are going to be able to handle it, and what's more to come, the driver choices. So, guys, make sure that you hit that follow button, follow our social media in terms of Facebook, hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, hit follow if you're on Twitch. All of it. Just go mad. Make sure the notifications coming through. And also, why not go onto Sarko's website? Go and take a look if you're interested in joining.
Don't worry.
It is a lot of fun.
Don't worry yet. It's still not working. Don't worry. I've checked it.
It's still not working. Okay. Well, then go and send Dylan a message.
Join our Discord. You'll see on our Facebook, we've got all the links to the Discord. All the information at this point is available there.
There we go. So make your way over to the Discord. Lots of fun happening. And a lot in the work. That's all I can tell you. I know Dylan hasn't told me too much, but from what I can read into it, this is not to be missed. Keep your eyes open. Next week, round number 1, as our drivers take to the track for the very first Schick Global GT3 Series.
Right, guys. Thank you very much. Until then, all I can say is keep racing. And thanks for watching.